It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you.
Fun night, guys. Let me get my drink ready. So, as many of you know from, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I was recently reunited with my childhood best friend, Matthew Hudson, or Matt Hudson as he likes to go by. He never did like his full name. It's cool. I understand for obvious reasons. But we hooked up tonight and just hung out, trying to bounce my phone. Hung out, it's charging, so that's why it's falling over. Anyway, we hung out. It's that third time. You know, just chilled. This is the first time I've seen Matt in about 25 years. We lost contact during our childhood, and you know how kids don't, they don't stay friends. They become friends. They fight. They become friends again. They fight. It was one of those things. Something stupid. I don't remember what it was. So I came across a friend of my store manager. I won't call any names, but I got in the mood to try to look up some old friends from my childhood. So I was like, I wonder if Matt's on there. I tried searching for him years ago, couldn't find him. It's possibly the way I was searching, or I just didn't recognize him because it's been 25 years. So when I finally tracked old Matthew down, he didn't recognize me. He had no idea who I was. So he almost declined the request until he was like, oh, that's him. That's my childhood best friend. So it's been 25 years, and we were both children of the 80s. I was born in 79. I think Matt is either a little younger or a little older. I can't remember. I think he's a little younger. I'm not sure. But, we decided to hang out today because he got off from work about, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock somewhere. And we just, as soon as he came in, it was a little weird. But, he tried to shake my hand. I swatted his hand away, and I just bear hugged him because it'd been 25 years. Me and this guy were like brothers growing up. And we went through so much crap together as kids. Discovering girls, trying to figure girls out, never did figure them out. So I've given up. But mainly the pop culture from the 80s.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So we hooked back up, and it was like the 25 years was yesterday. It was like we last saw each other like last week sometime. After I hugged him, we sat down and just talked and just traded old war stories about girlfriends and stuff like that, what you've been doing. And then after probably 20 or 30 minutes of catching up on 25 years, we're back to discussing Transformers and Ninja Turtles and video games and movies and just things that are popular now. It was like the 25 years, like I said, was yesterday. And call me a sucker for nostalgia. It's hot in here. I'm taking my socks off. I have always been a sentimental, nostalgic person. I will keep something that I know I will never use ever again because it has a special memory to me. I dug up some of my old Transformers. This is Trax Mint in the box. It is a reissue before anyone starts anything. Now, the story behind this one is, long story short, there was a local game show on the TV stations, and it was a gerbil race. It was 3 gerbils, one right here, one right here, and one right here in this plastic glass case with a divider here, here, here. So basically when they opened the gate, the little gerbils ran to the finish line, and you basically called in. It was free, it didn't cost anything. You called in and you basically placed a wager. You bet on who would win or what gerbil would win, number 1, 2, or 3. And I called it, and I'm standing. I remember our phone was over the sink in our kitchen for whatever reason. So I'm 8 years old. I'm standing on the kitchen chair, leaning over the kitchen sink on this corded phone, trying to see the TV to see if my damn gerbil would win. I'm talking live on television as an 8-year-old kid. It's local, but that's damn cool. Of course, my gerbil just sat there like a drunken idiot, didn't move. And the other gerbils just ran away. And this was the prize. Not this exact one, the original one. The only difference in this one and the original is the box it came in and the stamp it came in. They're made exactly the same way. And I'm not a collector who cares about if it's the same date. All I want is the figure. Okay? If it was made yesterday and it's the same exact figure I had, I'm cool. But the story goes with this one that I didn't win, basically. This was the prize, and my gerbil lost. My mom felt so bad for me. The next day, I come home from school, and I'm still depressed. 8 years old, 8, 9 years old. This is all I got in the world. Transformers and my friends. In school. School sucks. Yeah. Anyway, I come home, I'm all pouty and stuff. So my mom says, I got a surprise for you. And she put it in the very top cabinet in the kitchen where she knows I couldn't reach at the time. Little did she know how tall I get. But she pulls Trax, that's the name of this Transformer, Trax out of the top of the cabinet and gives him to me. Because she felt so bad that my gerbil lost. And that is the story of why this one is my most prized Transformer. It always will be. When I got that figure, the story continues. And this is why I have such a bad attitude toward a lot of teachers, because they're fucking assholes. At least the ones at my old school were. So, if anyone remembers classes in the 80s, I don't know how the classrooms are made now. I really don't care because whatever. But we had cubby holes in the back of the classroom. You had your books and your for other classes and your backpack, and if you carried a lunchbox that didn't require it to be cold, you put it up there, whatever. So I'm so proud of my Trax action figure. I stand him up in his robot form. He's like this. And I stand him at the top of my little cubby hole. All it is a cube. It's exposed. There's no locker door or anything on it. So Trax is up there at the start of the class. And, the 80s were pretty much where action figures really, really got going. I'm sure they had toys like that, something similar to that in the 70s, but Transformers and Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, Silverhawks, that just paved the way. Plus, Star Wars was popular back then. Still is. So, the teacher getting fed up with certain students playing with their toys in class, not me. I didn't keep my toys on me, or I didn't pull them out in class. It was either in my pocket or my cubby hole. So poor Trax is standing up there all defenseless. And she gets a bug up her ass about us having figures in class. Like I said, mine wasn't on me. And she starts walking around the classroom. I can't remember what grade it was. I think it was 3rd grade. And this bitch, if you're watching, yeah, you're a fucking bitch. Fuck you. So this bitch walks over there and just grabs and snatches, probably crushing and breaking, because these things were not durable at all. They still aren't. Just grabs him. I never saw him again. You know, he went into that Bermuda Triangle known as the teacher's drawer with all her confiscated shit. And I told my mom, and somehow she went and checked and it was gone or something. I don't know what happened. But I lost him. Like a day or two after I got him. And of course, back then, Transformers were hard to find. Certain ones. A G1 Megatron was impossible to find. Couldn't find it. As soon as he came in, they were just sold out. Even though when you went to Toys R Us, there was an entire valley of Transformers on one wall. I remember it very well. You know, it wasn't just a little 4-foot section. It was a whole, probably about a 12-foot section, ceiling to floor, this wide, of Transformers. I never got him again. So when I got grown, and I say grown, but I was probably this bug in my apartment flying on the ceiling. I'm so random, aren't I? Anywho, I heard they were releasing several of the original Transformers, and I was like, please re-release Trax. Sure enough, he was one of the ones. But that wasn't simple enough. I had to wait once again for him to be available. So once a week, I would get in my little Nissan 4-cylinder truck, which I hated that damn thing. My first car, though. So it was paid for or whatever. And I would drive to the Toys R Us near where I lived. Walk in, a grown-ass, 18, 19... let's see, how old was I? I was at least 22 or 23 now that I think about it, because I remember where I was living at. So I'm 22, 23, and I always dressed older than I was. Like, I would walk in there wearing a dress shirt and a pair of slacks. I dressed nicer when I was younger than I do now, for whatever reason. So I went in there, and they're like, why is this guy walking in a toy store? I was like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I'm getting my damn Trax. So I go in there. First night I went, they didn't have him, but they did have Skywarp. Y'all know I got more than one. Come on. Skywarp, mint in the box. So I got him, and I was like, you know what? I'll just keep checking back. Probably about a month goes by. And I went in there, and by then, the people kind of knew me. So I went in there, and I was like, have y'all got Trax? And they're like, oh, we don't know, sweetheart, but you're welcome to go check. And I go back there, and I'm fumbling around, and it's like angels started singing, oh, and I find my beloved Trax in the box, mint. And I had a fit. It was like I was a kid again. And I grabbed the box, and I ran up front, and I put him on the checkout, and I felt like I was about 10 years old looking up like this at the cashier. I didn't give a damn. I put him up there, and I gave her I think it was like $25 for this. I can't remember how much it was. But I would have gladly paid 10 times, 20 times as much as that. This was my childhood in a box, guys. The most important figure I ever had, as far as Transformers. I got plenty more stories. So I paid for him, got him home. I did take him out of the box to put his stickers on him. I'm a big kid at heart. I got to at least play with him once. But he's been in the box ever since, And that's probably where he'll always remain. I may take him out and look at him every now and then when I'm not drinking. But anywho, that's the story of Trax. And that was the kind of nostalgic explosion I got tonight when I hung out with Matt. All those memories in my childhood came flooding back. And you can see over here on my right, I still have a lot of my toys, a lot of my action figures. Nothing compared to the collection I had when I was a kid. Of course, they were damaged, thrown away, traded in, just lost. But there's this thing called eBay. Yeah. So, be prepared for some Transformer reviews. Yeah, I went there. I always loved Ninja Turtles. I always loved He-Man, Thundercats, but there was something about the Transformers. And like this little thermos bottle right here. I took this shit to work. God, how old I am. How old am I? Took it to school. I don't know how many times. Of course, I've lost the top. But it was in Aladdin. I probably had the lunchbox too. But this was the very thermos bottle I took to school when I was a child. Very same one. Honestly, it's probably the oldest thing that I own. It's at least 30 years old. 32 years old. Because the copyright date on it says 1984. 1984. So this is probably the oldest object I own. But I still kept it. You know, I've rebought a lot of the Transformers that I owned or wanted when I was a kid. Very few I still own that are original ones that I owned when I was a kid. But I don't care about that. I care about just the memories. And call me crazy, but I did order. They finally did a Galvatron figure correctly. I ordered it. It's $115. But I got a bonus check this time.
Behold, Galvatron.
So, didn't cost me anything really. So, you guys have a great one. I thought I'd share my little adventure tonight. But it was great. You know, it was about time. So, maybe this is a new chapter in my life where I'm, you know, picking up with my childhood best friend. We'll share some more crazy adventures all the way to the retirement home. I can see me and Matt right now, 85 years old. Hey man, you see that new Transformer movie? Yeah man, they bringing back Thundercats too. I can see us doing that shit. I really can. But anyway, you guys have a great one. Sorry this video wasn't more exciting, but I hope you enjoyed my trip down memory lane, hearing about some of my childhood, hearing about my best friend. And you guys have a great one. Peace, and say my name. We'll see you.
You're at your best when